Hey, I'm Danielle, and today we're talking about the 3 keys to career confidence. How's that for alliteration? What we're going to talk about is how to build your confidence in your work life. And I've got a few specific things that you can do to achieve that. The first one is to practice your communication. So to explain this, I'll share my, unpopular opinion about confidence, and that is that the less you have, the more you think about it, and vice versa. The more you have, the less it comes up in your mind. And this is kind of like, those moments in your life when you've had less money. It's like you constantly rack your brain thinking about it, you stress about it, it's always on your mind, versus the times that it's less of an issue, then it's less of something that's renting space in your brain. So ironically enough, what I think is really important in communicating with confidence is essentially not thinking about confidence. What you want to think about instead is enthusiasm. People who communicate with enthusiasm in their voice, in their body language, those are the people that really come off as confident human beings. This is not about putting on some enthusiasm mask or some facade. This is really about finding your own flavor of enthusiasm and injecting that into how you speak, because it will come off as confidence. And you really want to think about your physiology, how you hold your body when you're speaking to people, and you also want to think about your phrasing. Do you use the word right at the end of every sentence? That's what we're doing, right? Because that actually communicates kind of like you're questioning yourself. Do you use like or in between every word as if you're, also questioning yourself? Do you say, is this making any sense? Does that make any sense? Or sorry, because those are very just apologetic ways of talking. Or do you end each sentence lifting it a little bit, adding a higher pitch as if you're also questioning yourself? Trust me, we're all guilty of these sometimes if it's a big presentation or an important conversation, but you just want to build this in when you're practicing your communication. The second piece here is the super practical tip, and that is to build your experience. I know that when I was first getting started in each of my previous job roles, I definitely did not feel that I was that confident. I didn't really know what was going on. I was still learning things, and I felt nervous about bringing up my ideas or even asking questions sometimes. I'll share a few examples from my own experience. Straight out of college, I worked in corporate, and everyone on my team and pretty much everyone at that site was about 20 years older than me. So I kind of just seemed like this blonde girl straight out of college, in communication, like what does she even know? And honestly, those are my own judgments, and maybe some other people thought that too, but you know what, oh well. There were other people on my team and at that company who wanted to see me jump in, and I really made up for it, honestly, with just eagerness to learn and get experience. And that process, having those few years where I was learning the ropes actually was super important to building my confidence on that team. The job I had after that was helping high school students get into college, and I did this in a small program where I was mentoring the students one-on-one and in a group format, and I loved this role. When I first got there, I just really didn't have any idea what was going on, and it just really took me time to learn the ropes, to understand the philosophy and the strategies and how to really help students. So the toughest thing about this job was talking to the intense parents who really cared about their kids, but also were pretty intimidating, I'll say that. But once I actually had the experience and once I understood how to communicate with them, that was really where my confidence came from. It just kind of took building the experience, and then I felt a little bit better about holding those conversations. To give one more quick example, the job I have now. I work at a co-working space, and when I first started, I didn't yet understand the processes or the documents or where to find things, and it's hard to bring up ideas or even ask questions when you're at that point and you're not comfortable with the team yet, honestly. And so now I'm about 5 months in, I think, and I feel much better about that. I feel comfortable with the team, comfortable bringing up ideas, and that experience just on the team and doing this work helped me to create that, simple as it sounds. So as you continue to learn in your job, the confidence will come. It's just like driving. You're probably pretty nervous at first, but now it's likely that it seems pretty natural. We talked about the skill building side with communication as a tool. We talked about building your experience, and now let's get a little mushy. The third key is to know your worth. I'll tell you right now, don't let any boss or coworker or even friend or family member tell you that you're not valuable. If someone says something that's overly critical versus, constructive criticism can help you grow, but if it's just cruel, that's honestly their own problem. They're dealing with their own insecurities and it's just coming out onto you. Do not let that bother you. It's natural to let it get to you, but honestly, you need to just remind yourself that it's their own issue that they're working out. And the second really important piece here, which I honestly have to remind myself all the time, is that your value as a human being is not defined by your job title. It's not even defined by your accomplishments, as scrambling in the brain as that can be. You are innately valuable as a person. You already were valuable before you started doing anything with your job. I know this is getting a little cheesy, a little mushy, but you've got to take it in. You are not your job title. Oh boy, I'm getting passionate. I gotta take a couple deep breaths over here. We'll go ahead and wrap up, but remember those 3 keys to being confident at work. The first is to practice your communication. Work on your physiology, injecting enthusiasm as you speak, and think about your phrasing. Number 2 is to build your experience. So know that as you get more time in a certain job role, your confidence is naturally going to come. And the third is to know your worth. You are valuable. Don't let anybody tell you any different. And you were valuable far before you had the job role that you're in now. You've got to remember that. And we will leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe because I put out new videos every week about finding work you love through career design and personal development. I hope you have an amazing day and continue to build your confidence. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!